Film Rich and welcome back to my channel. Apologies I wasn't here last week, I was a bit under the weather, but today we're diving into season 1 finale of The Sopranos, which is titled I Dream of Jeannie Cusamano. This episode is a calculated wrap up of the season that delivers on story, character arcs and fallout. Before we take it apart, I would like to remind everyone to please like, share and subscribe as we grow this channel, and without further ado, let's get stuck in. Episode starts with Junior hosting a meeting at Satriel's with his top capos. During the meeting, Jimmy once again brings up specific details about past mob business, making everyone uncomfortable. It's not subtle. After the meeting, Junior pulls Tony aside and confirms what everyone suspected. Jimmy's the mole. Junior wants Tony to handle it and make it count. That night, Christopher sets a trap by inviting Jimmy to a hotel under the pretext of meeting some Russian prostitutes. When Jimmy arrives, something feels off, and one of the girls goes into another room. Chris tells him to sit down. Silvio enters quietly, silenced pistol in hand. Chris disarms Jimmy, exposing a hidden ankle gun. The mood turns serious. They confront him about his betrayal. Silvio executes him with a shot to the back of the head. Jimmy's body is found later on in an alley with a rat stuffed in his mouth. At the Sopranos' home, Meadow is making out with a boy named Jeremy while AJ is off in his room. Suddenly they're alerted that Lydia has somehow walked all the way from Green Grove and is now outside the house talking about dead relatives. They bring her in and she's clearly confused and rambling. Eventually, she's returned to Green Grove with police assistance, but not before telling the policeman to shut up. Tony brings up the incident with Melfi during their next session. She suggests that his hallucinations of Isabella were a psychological response to his stress over Livia, and hints that Livia may suffer from borderline personality disorder. Tony flips. He accuses Melfi of blaming his mother for everything. Shatters her glass coffee table and storms out, vowing to quit therapy. Artie has now reopened his restaurant called Nuovo Vesuvio. Carmela and Rosalie enjoy a lunch on the house. Their conversation turns to Jackie Aprile and Livia. Carmela wonders aloud if Livia has Alzheimer's. Father Intintola shows up for lunch and chats with them briefly. Later, Artie visits Livia and brings her some food. She drops a quiet bomb, implying Tony was the one who burnt down his restaurant. Furious, Artie vents to Father Intintola, the priest. The priest encourages him to go to the police. Instead, Artie confronts Tony directly with a rifle, accusing him of arson. Tony denies it passionately. Artie walks away, later telling Intintola he won't take things further. He doesn't trust Livia's word. Tony is called in by Agent Harris and Grasso. They play audio from a wiretap in Livia's room at Green Grove. Recordings of her and Junior discussing a plan to have Tony killed. Tony is stunned. He leaves the meeting and immediately informs Paulie, Silvio and Chris revenge is coming. Tony and Silvio track down Chucky Signore at the marina. Chucky thinks nothing of it until Tony pulls out a small pistol hidden in a fish and shoots him. They dispose of the body in the water. Tony returns to Dr. Melfi's office to apologize for his earlier outburst. He admits she was right about Livia's condition and warns her that she may be in danger because of his business. He insists she leave town for a while. She resists, but he is adamant. He then admits to his crew that he's been seeing a psychiatrist, and they surprisingly take it in stride. Carmela later visits the church to drop off some spaghetti for Father Intintola, only to find him being flirtatious with Rosalie. She is disgusted, throws the food away and leaves. That night, the priest shows up at the Soprano house with a movie, hoping to spend some time with Carmela. She's polite but firm. She calls him out for manipulating religious women and feeding off their emotions. He leaves embarrassed and defeated. The next morning, Mikey Palmisi goes for a jog. Chris and Paulie follow him in a car. When Mikey realizes he's being tailed, he bolts into the woods. They chase him down and he trips in a ravine, begs for his life. Chris reminds him of Brendan's murder. Then both men empty their guns into him and leave the body behind. Before Tony can hit back at Junior, the FBI arrests Junior and several other members of the crew, including Larry Boy Barisi and Beppe Sasso. The charges are unrelated, stock fraud. Tony's relieved not to be directly tied to it, knows the FBI isn't done. He's worried about potential informants flipping. In lockup, a prosecutor offers Junior a deal. Reduced sentence in exchange for flipping on Tony. Junior refuses. He insists he's the boss and says no one tells him what to do. He's not giving up Tony. Tony enters Green Grove with a stolen pillow, clearly planning to smother his mother. But before he gets to her room, a nurse tells him that Livia had a stroke after watching the news. As she is wheeled out, Tony whispers to her that he knows what she did. Livia says nothing but smiles. Security pulls Tony away. To close the episode, Tony decides to take his family on a little trip, but a storm cuts the trip short. They stop off at Nuovo Vesuvio, where they're joined by Paulie, Silvio, Chris and Adriana, who now works there as a waitress. Tony gives a quiet toast to the family, unsure what's ahead, but still holding it together. And that's I Dream of Jeannie Cusamano. The finale wraps up the season's biggest arcs while setting the tone for what's to come. Betrayals, consequences and loyalty, all delivered with a quiet precision. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for more scene-by-scene breakdowns and deep dives into The Sopranos, and of course more. Thanks.